Working or no? Yo.
Frontline workers, we see you. At Clark's and Eye Care, we have a special offer for a very special group of people, our hard-working heroes on the front line. As a thank you for your commitment to working with the public, enjoy a new pair of eyeglasses for only $95.
Yo. Let's see what's going on. Make sure not everybody's not muted and whatnot. Here we go. What's going on, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls? It is Saturday morning, and it is living split screen in the morning with Steel and Pong, giving it to you live, raw, and uncut on your Saturday morning. Again, we have had some technical difficulties, as life does with all things. Gives us trials and tribulations, but guess what? We're here, we've pushed them through, and we're about to give it to you only as we can. So look, man, Pong, what's going on, my guy? How you feeling?
Yep. Oh man, I'm feeling good. It was late night, but we are here. We are live. Good morning, gamers across the world. This is living split screen. It is Saturday morning. We hope you've got your coffee, your beverage of choice, your breakfast ready, because we are waking you up today. We got some big opinions. We got some topics, fun topics to talk about, and I am excited, Steel, because this is episode number 2, and we are back.
Yes.
Oh,
yes,
man.
Sir. Again, man, for those of y'all filing in, man, again, we've had some technical difficulties working through some things. I guess I have to do things manually on my side for Streamlabs to notice that we want to go live. It threw off everything for me. It was getting frustrated, but again, it's live, raw, and uncut, man. And look, man, it's been an amazing week, man. We've had a lot of up and down news, a lot of wild news, a lot of interesting things going on within the community also, but I think it's more so on a worldwide kind of thing. I feel like some mindsets are changing. I feel like people are starting to open their eyes. So, man, what you think? What we got going on this week, man?
You know what, Steel? Let's start with this, man. So Monster Hunter Rise came out, and a bunch of people in Japan were taking the day off, of course, because Monster Hunter Rise is obviously huge.
Right.
All of a sudden, at least one company that I am aware of, the CEO noticed all these people taking a day off. And he noticed that the day set happened to be the same day that Monster Hunter Rise was coming out. So what did he do? He went ahead and just gave all of his employees the day off. So, you know what? I was thinking about this, and I was like, question is, should we get holiday? Should we get vacation days for video game days releases? Like, Halo Infinite coming out in November. Should we get a day off? What do you think, Steel?
Hey, man, look, see, that in itself, the fact that there was mad people taking off just to play a game kind of just speaks in volumes for itself. It's big in Japan. I would love to have a day off, be like, hey, boss, look, this game is coming out. Halo Infinite's coming out, man. I need the entire, week off to really indulge myself the best way that I can. Can I get that? And for him to just be like, hey, man, it's part of our deal. You know what I mean? Just go do what you need to do. I would love that. And it still keep my my other days off, my other paid time off. Man, that would be fantastic. That's some interesting news right there. I like that. That's a good way to switch it up.
You know what though? I mean, like, seriously. We get days off for other things, and yeah, I know we've got PTO, personal time off, and I don't know how our European friends, what they get for personal time off, or if it's all lumped together. But maybe we should have a couple days of the year where we get entertainment days off, right?
Facts.
So like, something like that. Just call it something funny, or maybe companies should just realize that big releases are coming out and say, hey, guess what, guys? If you're a gamer and you're going to go play this game, take the day off. I mean, I think that'd be pretty cool. Of course, I'm half joking here, but I thought it was a fun little tidbit. I can't believe that I can believe that Monster Hunter Rise is that big, but I can't believe that a company CEO would actually, think about it and actually be like, you know what? We should give the people the day off, because most people are gonna take it off anyways to go play this game. So why don't we just give it off? I can't believe that's a cool CEO. That is somebody who I would want to work for personally, because I mean, he's actually got to be one of those guys that looks at human beings as human beings and is like, you know what? I'm going to treat them the right way because they're going to appreciate me more in the end. So that's a whole nother topic for a whole nother show. But anyways,
I mean,
I just thought that was, yeah, go ahead.
Yeah, I mean, you brought that up in the green room, man, and I was just like, you was like, hey, man, let's lead in with that. I was like, that's interesting. That's a different take. I don't think anybody else is caring to talk about something like that, so I enjoyed it. And in fact, I see some people even in the chat like, hey, man, I would love that. I see Smitty Smith say, my boss actually gave me the day off for the launch of the Series X. Bro, that's what I'm saying. See?
That's a good guy right there, Smitty. Keep working for whoever that person is, man.
Facts.
Let me tell you.
That's a fact. But look, man, we kind of want to keep it simple because, again, it's always going to be about gaming. We don't come from any particular angle. It's just about what we've been doing gaming-wise and how we feel in our gaming verse. So, Pong, man, throughout the week, what have you been playing, my brother?
Oh man, well, of course, Outriders. That came out. So
Ooh, all
the connection issues aside, man, that game. Look, we're gonna keep it positive here. Games come out. Games can be frustrating when they come out. We can have a discussion about whether or not games should be broken when they come out, especially after having a month-long demo. And
let's talk about it. Let's talk about it a little bit. Actually,
you want to talk about it a little bit? Okay.
I know we have another topic, but let's really lead it. Let's lead the sheep into. We don't want to lead them to slaughter just yet. Let's make sure they get some food in and make sure they're nice and comfortable before we hit them upside the head.
Okay. All right. Well, that's So I'm frustrated with the connection issues. Obviously, you and I, Steel, we've been trying to hook up and play Outriders together.
Right.
And we were trying to do it. You are PCMR. Wink, wink.
Nah, that's
So
no.
just joking, chat.
No.
He's not PCMR. He plays everything, but he does have a PC. So
Yes.
and he does partake in gaming on this
Facts.
PC. So we were trying to do that, and obviously couldn't. And we haven't been able to get a stable connect. Well, I mean, we can get connected together, but the minute we see an enemy, it disconnects. Steel's gone, right? So, and we've tried it reverse. Then last night, we actually got it to work with you on the 1X and me on the Series X, and we actually had our boy DeBlue in there with us, and it worked for a while, and it was okay. So it seems to be getting better. We know they took down the servers yesterday. They're trying to fix things. They're hard at work. There's always been a question about whether or not Square Enix gets it when it comes to online play. Final Fantasy 14 has had its issues, but it's gotten much better.
Right.
But obviously that's an older game that they've had time to, get the servers, locked in and ready. It's an MMO, so they've been working on that constantly. But for game releases that come out, Square Enix has had a hit and miss kind of history with servers when it comes to multiplayer. So for me, it's frustrating. For me, I'm kind of in the camp, and I know, Stu, you might have a different opinion, but I am pretty much all in the camp that says if you're going to release a demo and the demo is working well, and you release the demo for as long as they did, and they worked on a ton of stuff, so I'm not going to take away anything. Like, they were constantly patching that demo and fixing things. And the game, the game itself, you can tell that they put a lot of work into. The question is, why aren't we more prepared for when everybody hops on and the big groups are coming, and this isn't like 5 million people logging in at one time. Outriders has had great success. It was, it broke some records for Square Enix as far as concurrent players goes on Steam. It's not the biggest game in the world. It's not the most players that have ever played an online game. So why can't we just have, this is a fundamental part of the game, right? Of course you can solo this game. They've said that all along, but a fundamental part of this game is playing with your friends, right? Having that group of three. When it was working last night, Steel, and having two other people in there with different powers.
It was flawless. It was flawless. It was perfect.
And it was crazy. It was fun. Right.
Exactly.
And that's a fundamental core of the game, is to have the other people in there with you, and to have that right now, as it stands, not the best experience in the world. Is frustrating to me, but you go ahead, Steel, because I know you might have a little bit of different opinion on this one.
Okay. For me, Outriders has been a good time, man. I know as far as the connection issue, the server issues, that has been my major gripe. I don't understand how in the demo, I mean, I do, and I'll get into that a little bit. But at the same time, I do not understand how in the demo, crossplay was working flawlessly. Connections were working flawlessly. Yeah, you can notice little hitches here and there. But as far as whether it was PC to console, console to console, console to PC, however, it worked flawlessly. If I told you the code, sent the code, it was no problems. So I wasn't expecting to have these kinds of issues when the game actually dropped. But the opposite side of the coin for me, though, for that is that it demonstrates how influential this game has been with it going into Game Pass. I believe it was like 100,000 people that tried out the demo or whatever. They were just downplaying the numbers. People weren't acting like they weren't really hype about it. People are saying, because it's the newest game out or whatever the case might be. That's why they're hyped for it now. But for me, it was more so Square Enix has never, as we all know, as we have heard, does not do well as when it comes to server stress or when it comes to the online play. Period. Wasn't that well in Final Fantasy 15 for their co-op experience.
Correct.
Correct. It just wasn't that great of an experience. When I played with my wife, it was all right, but it wasn't what it could have been, and it turned me off eventually. But there is so many things that I feel like that should have been paid attention to, especially when you were coming off a demo that you were constantly updating. It's not like, it was just all of a sudden you were constantly updating, you were trying to adjust things, and then launch day comes and nobody can get into the server. Now, or people are having issues connecting or whatnot. Now, for me, I like it per se, and I don't want anybody to misunderstand that. I like it because people downplayed it, and this is showing you the attention that the game is grabbing. But it's also demonstrating, and we'll talk about it later, I know, about what Game Pass is doing for the industry. Look what Outriders has done in Game Pass. It's crashed the servers. For a game that y'all weren't hyped for, it crashed the servers. And that's something that is important. And I feel like it's only going to get, not that the problem's going to get worse, because they're working on adjusting it. And that, like we seen from last night, yes, the solo player experience is cool, it's fine, whatever the case might be. And I understand why people are saying, oh, we need to have an offline option. I understand why you're saying that. But at the same time, as much as they want to say that it's not a live service game, we can't fool ourselves into thinking that it's not going to become a live service game.
Are you saying they may have lied? Are you saying they may have lied?
I don't want to say that they lied. I don't think they lied. I don't think they lied. I don't want to say that, because that's not what I think that's not what I think they're doing. I really legitimately think that they wanted people to understand that we are releasing a full game. And see, that's the problem nowadays. Right. People are in fear because they don't know whether they're going to get a full game on release. You get a lot of these games within the last decade, almost 2 decades, where they drop and they need a day one update. They need a day one patch to fix whatever problems that they are. So I feel like, I guess depending on what side of the window you want to look out of, you could look at it as a lie, but you could also look at it as them just saying, hey, we're being honest. This is what we have. We're not planning on for you to live in this world. We want you to enjoy the content for what it is and play together. Again, I feel like it's kind of a missed point, like you were stating earlier. The fact that we have these service-based games and we're still having these issues, not service-based, but the fact that we're having games that are co-op based, and you're having server issues is not a good look. I've seen all through Twitter, I've seen on Facebook, I've seen on other platforms, social platforms, that people are starting to get turned off just by the server issues. That's something that you don't want, because you have a solid game. It's not a shell. It's not a, you know what I'm saying? Oh, it has potential. No, you've made a game that is a total package, and it has so much playability. Like I saw somebody on Twitter say, yo, people can fly, or the drug dealers. They have given you a drug and you're asking for more. Like, we're sitting here dealing with problems we shouldn't be dealing with, and we're like, oh wow, we're getting frustrated because we want to be in there. And I feel like that's more so something to pay attention to. That's why I'm not trying to be negative on it. I know other people feel how they feel about it. If you want to have those conversations, like Pong said, man, let's have those conversations. But at the same time, for People Can Fly to put out a product that has become bigger than they may have even thought is what's important. I feel like should be more the focus. So,
yeah, and here's my thing. It's a brand new IP, right? And that's like the last thing you want, is to have any reason whatsoever, or somebody who's enjoying the experience with your brand spanking new. Let's be real. People Can Fly haven't had a big release in a long time, so they've obviously been working on this IP for, a considerable amount of time, right? And so when you show your new baby to the world, the last thing you want is to have anybody who's enjoying the experience to have any type of real. Again, there's always going to be small things, but any type of real issues when it comes to the total package.
Mm.
And the total package includes online play, right?
Right.
You know, and like Bomber, I'd be curious too, Bomber. You can see, I know, Bomber, you're saying that this isn't a live service game at all, and you're correct. However, can you see that they've set it up where it would be very easy for them to make this a live service game, right? I think Square and People Can Fly were probably hedging their bets here a little bit. So that's why they promoted it as not a live service game. But at the same time, they're ready if this thing blows up, which it could because it's gotten a lot of good steam, that they could very easily, you know, flip a couple switches and turn this into something bigger, right? I mean, everything's kind of set up, hence why we have to be online all the time with it and connected, even in solo play and all that kind of stuff. It's all there. It's all there. Again, if you're going to push out a new IP and this is your proud new baby that you're giving to the world, and you aren't ready to take that next step because you're being held back by technical problems that are causing people to not be able to experience your game fully, especially with the co-op play being a core piece of this. I think that's where it becomes troublesome, right? Again, we're all used to bugs. We're all used to this little stuff nowadays.
Yes.
We're all used to patches. All that's fine. I'm just saying that I'm a little disappointed that the one core piece of this game is not in place fully yet, and it is not up to par. Okay, so that's where my frustration comes in. Again, I'm a lone wolf guy, Steel. You know that. You know, so I don't have an issue running this game solo. It makes it a lot tougher. I'll tell you that. The challenge level definitely goes up.
It does.
It does. But at the same time, I just think that missing piece not being fully implemented yet with the issues is kind of a problem. So that's where I'm coming from.
Right, and again, I think we're pretty much on the same page as that. I agree with Bomber in the chat. It should be on dedicated servers at this point. When you have games that are like this, they should be on dedicated servers. You should have invested in dedicated servers day one, but that's kind of the problem. People are unsure about their product, but I feel like that's something that Game Pass can allow, is putting a product or a co-op based game in the Game Pass with a guaranteed amount of eyes on it, will give people more of a reason to want to make sure that they invest in dedicated servers. That's something that I've always had a problem with Gears. I always felt like Gears was always off until they made dedicated servers, and even then they still struggle every now and then with ping issues and things like that. They don't do that well. You'll have somebody with over 200 plus ping in the lobby with you, and in a game like that, it's noticeable, very noticeable. So dedicated servers is definitely something that I think the entire industry needs to really start considering more for its overall gamers, just to make sure that we have an overall solid experience, because that's what it's become. We shouldn't be getting to day one. I'm 100% on that wagon too. We shouldn't be coming to day one with these issues, especially when you had a demo constantly updating issues.
Right.
That's
it's just a bad look. It's just it's a little bit of tarnish on what has turned out to be a quite successful game in the grand scheme of things, for the traction that it had during the demo, which was a mixed bag. I have not seen anybody say they hate this game, which is rare nowadays on social media, right? Usually you get somebody that say, I absolutely cannot stand this game. It has been either A, people are like iffy about it, or B, the most part, I've seen nothing but good to excellent responses to what people are actually playing now that it's out, the full game experience, right? So that's where I think you just lose a little bit of that shine. You don't have everything in place, and I wish that companies would make sure. I don't know what else they can do. Again, from what I'm hearing is true, and it's mostly a Square Enix thing, and if like Bomber and yourself are talking about where they should have just had dedicated servers to alleviate some of this, then it seems like a simple fix. And it seems like something that they should have had the foresight to do. And again, whether or not that's Square Enix that just doesn't want to spend it, doesn't want to, whatever the case may be, if it's more costly and they didn't want to invest resources right now, especially after Avengers, on this game because they didn't know if it was going to hit or not, that's still, you're setting yourself up. Even if it was going to hit, you set yourself up for a little bit for failure if you don't give it the full boat. If you're not putting everything into it that you can at the gate, you're kind of setting it up to trip. It is right now. So, exactly. But again, keeping it positive. The game is awesome. Anybody out there who hasn't tried Outriders yet, if you've got Game Pass, obviously no reason not to. Obviously people out there that have to buy the games on other platforms, that's going to have to be a personal decision that you make. I will say I think this game is worth it. I think it's worth the buy.
Yes.
Because I know that I know they're going to iron this stuff out and everything's going to be good. And the game is fun. I mean, the game is pure fun.
Bro.
The combination of skills with that Destiny skill with Gears gameplay, Master Looser Gears gameplay, let's put it that way, is so satisfying when you get those combinations together. And when you pull off, I mean, it's crazy what you can pull off, but when you pull off something cool, it is a very satisfying, good feeling every time that I see a guy cut in half by my shotgun and his pieces in slow motion inside my time slow bubble drifting apart. Man, that something special. I mean, it's good stuff. So it's definitely worth it for anybody who hasn't tried it yet. Give it a chance. I think you guys are going to like it, and they're going to iron this other stuff out, and we'll have the full experience here soon enough. So I can't wait for that.
Facts. Just to kind of get in the chat again. Chat, what is going on? Y'all are in here live, raw and uncut with the living split screen morning show, man. Glad to have y'all here. Got Loop out here. We got Stubbs. We got Bomber. We got SSOBSX. He asked, who's typing? Is it someone on the panel or is it a mod? I am typing, or maybe it's Pong typing. Who knows? That's what keeps it unique, right? You never know. But it is probably one of us that is typing.
We ain't big enough to pay mods yet.
Facts. We just want to stay involved. Whoever signed in, right? We're just trying to make sure things are running right. Overall, as far as the Outriders topic go, I did want to also add this to it. Look, just to kind of give you guys some perspective, I paid from the demo. I paid my money to pre-order the game. I have 100% faith in the game, even after they said, "Oh, it's going to be free on Game Pass." I had issues on PC with the connection. Me and Pong were having issues playing together. We couldn't connect. I said, you know what? We waited to the next day to see if it was going to get any better, and apparently it didn't. Obviously it didn't, and it got to a point where I was like, you know what? Because I have been unable to find a Series X yet, or get my hands on one yet, I should say. I downloaded it on my One X, and I have to say also, on the One X, it's not bad. I know, no. Is it the next gen experience people may be looking for? Maybe not. But we're also consider, that's why people are making so many comparisons. It's okay for a game to take ideas from all these different places, be in a bunch of different places, if it does it right. Some games try to take ideas and then don't want to commit to doing it right. Again, Avengers is one of those titles. If it would have been like this, or the content would have been displayed the way the Outriders displayed it, it might have had some legs. But as of right now, it doesn't. Again, we're not trying to be negative. We're not trying to throw. We're just being honest. You know what I mean? That's how we're feeling. It is what it is.
It's a topic. It's a topic that has to be discussed because it's affecting a lot of people right now. Because there's a lot of people trying to play Outriders. So
exactly,
love the game. Just little issues. Little, big, whatever you want to say, issues with the connectivity. You know what? It's going to get ironed out. These always do. So they'll get it fixed and everything will be fine. I just don't want them to lose any more player base.
Exactly.
I just want to see this game keep going because I think there is something really good here that could turn into something big down the road. And that's why I just don't want to see people lose faith and just give up on it because I don't think this game deserves better. People can fly are a talented team, no doubt about it. So I want to see it happen.
That's a fact.
Yeah, well, you're right. You know what? Look at these people. You know what? We got Phantom Kraken in the house. Man, look at everybody out here. You guys are awesome, man. I can't believe. You know what? First of all, it's still surreal to me that we're even here, Steel. So, I mean, episode number 2. It's still crazy that I'm here on a Saturday morning. Just you and me talking to the chat. It's crazy. I still can't believe it. But thank you all for coming out here, guys. We do appreciate it. Spread the word, please. Spread the word. We know we're in a good time slot here with Saturday morning. Not a lot going on, and some people just may not be aware we're here.
Right.
So spread the word for us, please. We want to grow this. We really do. If you can't tell, Steele and I are passionate about gaming, and we're passionate about talking. He and I can talk anybody's ear off if we really want to.
Any day.
We probably already have. But the point being is that we want to talk as many people's ears off as we can, which means that we've got to get growing. And so please, if you guys are like what you're hearing, please get it out there because it's a great, we think personally, and of course we're biased. I'm not sitting here lying to myself. We're biased because this is our show. We think that this is a good way for people to get house chores done, get their breakfast, wake up, whatever the case may be, some game talk in. So, but love you all. Thank you for showing up. Steele, man. Been holding back a lot,
you have been, and I wanted to set it up for you.
You go ahead, set it up for me because I got a couple things to say.
Okay, now do you want to adjust the fake news, or do you want to take it the other way first?
Let's start with the fake news.
Okay, look,
let's do that. Let's do the April Fool's garbage.
So look,
all right.
Just to set it up for my brother Pong, man. Look, there's been some crazy things that have been going on within the communities, because it's not just our community, and I don't want people to think that it goes on everywhere. I've always noticed a community. There's always sides to everything. If people like Jordans, people like Adidas. If people like this, they like that. If people want to find negative news, they're going to want to find negative news. There's people that get turned on, for lack of better words, on negative press. And
are we talking like turned on?
Yeah, like their nipples start getting hard, and when they start seeing fake news. That has to be what it is, because their arousal is so real that they are ready to throw their life on the line, their career on the line, to jump on a grenade of BS, just to be the first ones out there to be talked about. So with that being said, man, Kotaku, now it's not the only place. Kotaku was probably like the 3rd or 4th place, and they were just the official place that announced it. But there was other people that also were not reading, that have a following, say that they're a particular type of way, and didn't take the extra 5 or 10 seconds to make sure that they were getting good information to their people, and that is a problem. Pong, you said you had some fire for the show this morning, man. What is going on, man? What is on your mind? How are you feeling about what you have seen?
Look, all right. Shout out. Thank you for setting this up, Steele, first of all. Giving the people the information if anybody wasn't aware as to what happened.
Facts.
Look, this is how I'm going to approach this. Shout out goes to the professional journalists getting paid, do a job, okay, doing what we do, but actually receiving cash. Okay.
Yes.
This is something. Okay. Think about that. that's a dream job. That's for us guys, right?
Facts.
I'm just an old guy who's been playing games for a long time. I didn't go to school. I did go to school for journalism for a short period. I was going to go into the media, but I obviously that didn't happen. So I'm just an old guy who's played at games for a long, long time, right?
Mm-hmm.
You're just a younger guy who's been playing games for a less longer time, but that's it.
Right.
We just both share a passion for video games.
Mm-hmm.
These journalists, and again, I use this loosely, and this goes across almost all journalists,
Facts.
right? At this point, this is what's happened, and we're not going to get into all that, but again, media in general has taken a huge hit lately. So we're going to keep it about the gaming journalists, and not all of them. There's some really great ones out there.
Mm-hmm.
No doubt about it. Okay. But
no.
There's a certain section of the paid journalist class.
Yes.
I call them a class because there's a lot of them that tend to look down on people in our position. Don't like the fact that we can hop on here on a Saturday morning on living split screen and basically do the same job they're doing and maybe present it in a different way that they may not agree with. And so it undermines their power that they feel they should have because they are a paid journalist, because they have a check mark next to their name. Shout out to these people, because what you guys are doing and what you guys continue to do, and again, I'm not going to shout out any specific one. There was a couple that got caught up in the April Fool's joke, but this ain't the first time. Okay, let's not play this like this is the first time. This happens all the time. Journalistic integrity is supposed to be a staple of your profession. You are getting paid to do it. Steel and I, that's the one cool thing, and I know that's kind of why some of you out there hate us in the YouTube world, just us unprofessionals, because we could come out here, we could spit some crazy stuff. Like I mean, you can go find YouTube channels talking about all sorts of crazy stuff, right? Without any kind of restriction, really, other than the YouTube rules. But these people are supposed to hold themselves to a higher standard. There was something that's been lost, and again, it's across all media, but we're going to focus on games, gaming journalism. There's something that's been lost, and it's ever since the internet, social media, and clickbaiting became popular. And so I have a hard time, not getting frustrated when somebody that's supposed to be trustworthy, somebody that's getting paid to actually investigate. Every human being is going to make a mistake. Right. And we all are going to make mistakes. Absolutely. When you are a paid journalist, you are a professional reporter, you have a check mark next to your name, that's supposed to indicate that you take things seriously or more seriously than the rest of us. And what that means is taking the extra 10 seconds. Okay, if at first you didn't realize when they signed the fake Halo news release with Chris Lee at the bottom, if you didn't realize that, we got a problem. Okay, fine. So you didn't catch that part. Okay, so then you didn't take the extra 10 seconds to check the actual Twitter account and look at the name and see the followers, and not realize to yourself that it was April Fool's Day. You didn't do that extra step. That's like the minimal part you could do. Journalists back in the day would have reached out to Xbox, would have reached out to Microsoft for a comment to confirm. If they weren't able to confirm or deny it on their own, they would have reached out and asked somebody. But they didn't do that. And it's because they got to jump on everything, especially negative news, which gets the clicks. Facts. It gets draws the people in, and they got to be first. They got to be out there right away because you can't be 5 minutes late, right? You can't be anymore. This is what this causes, and you're supposed to be better. You're supposed to be better than the rest of us. You're supposed to be better, not in terms of being a human being, but you're supposed to be better at your job than the rest of us. Exactly. And you guys keep taking these L's because you refuse to have any type of journalistic integrity. So you know why I gave him a shout out, Steele? I'm giving him an actual shout out because every time you guys do this, even if some of you are looking down upon us little people that just like to sit here and chat on YouTube about games and give you some news and give you some fun, every time you do this, you bring more to us. You give us even more credibility because this is the reason why all these channels are popping up. If news did their job, if the media did their job, if the professionals actually did their job, these kind of sites wouldn't pop up because everybody would be getting everything that they need out the gate.
Exactly.
Guess what? We are here now, and every L that you take is a W for us little channels. And even for some of the big independent channels, it's a W because it proves why we need to be here and why we, again, why things get popular that aren't actually official.
Exactly.
It's because of stuff like this. So shout out to you guys for continuing to have these L's. Shout out to you guys for continuing to, again, prove time and time again that you don't take your job seriously and that you don't have any integrity when it comes to this stuff. And all it's about is clickbait, period. Point blank. It's all about clickbait, and that's all you care about. And I understand that's how your sites get paid. But guess what? You guys can change that internally, and you guys could be getting paid just as much if you did your job correctly and you put out quality content. People will flock, and you don't need the clickbait. That's not what you guys choose to do. You got caught on April Fools with a stupid Halo press release, which was ridiculous because you couldn't take the extra 10 seconds. So shout out to all of you because we're here Saturday morning on Living Split Screen, me and Steel, because the guys and gals just like you. Thank you. I appreciate it. That part of my rant is done, Steel.
Facts. And look, man, just and you had a lot of outstanding points right there. And a lot of that I can't say better myself, but I gotta put my own flavor on it. You
bring it,
Steel.
Know. Steel, bring it. I want the rain, man. I gave you some of the soul. You gotta bring the rain now.
You already know. I gotta let it rain on them. Look, man. I know in the background, I was kind of one of the ones that kind of came to you initially. I was like, man, Pong, I'm having this problem. And the problem that I was having was the people. When I saw that initially go out, because I saw when that tweet went live, I saw people retweeting it. And when I saw that fake Halo channel post what they posted, I said, oh man, like some of us in the community that actually pay attention and try to make sure that we give our people within the community the most accurate information that we can. I looked at the bottom of that post that was created and said, Chris Lee does not even work for 343 anymore.
That's what I'm saying. How can you not know that as a gaming journalist?
So I was like, all right, well, I'll ignore it. It's whatever. I saw the whole post. The whole thing, sure, it could have been believable. Maybe. But as soon as I saw just that one attention to detail, and it was big. Yeah, I mean, it's right there at the bottom of the page. That is where my problem lays. The fact that we allow people within our communities, within our circles, within our people to retweet and let news like this. I don't care if you can say, oh, it was April Fool's or whatever the case. No. You lack the attention to detail, and that is part of the problem. People don't take us as gamers seriously because they think we lack the detail. That we have no passion, that we lack dedication, that we just game because we don't have anything else better to do with our lives, not knowing that gaming is just part of our life. And how big this community is and how many people that it's helped overall. That's what's crazy about this. The fact that so many people were played. And I say played, and I say it so strongly because that is what it was. And other people retweeted it, shared it. And what's crazy to me is that these people didn't say, hey, by the way, guys, they didn't retweet it and say, look, fake news, don't pay attention to it. If y'all see this, ignore it, mute it, block it, whatever, so that we can get the good information out. No, what people did is they deleted the post. That bothers me because for me, everything is about principle and also respect. Those two things matter the utmost to me. You dealing with people online, man, you have to have a mutual understanding and a mutual respect. If we can't have that, if I sense the fake energy, because everybody can, let's not sit here and play with each other. We're here with Living Split Screen in the morning, where you get that live, raw, and uncut opinions and thoughts every Saturday.
You're gonna be here.
It is absurd to me that these types of things are still going on within our communities, and then people accept it. That is so troubling to me, and it's frustrating because there's people that are like us, that are trying to get the good information out, that are trying to be, dedicated to our craft and take gaming to that next level. See, that's what I think a lot of people are missing. You're not trying to take gaming to the next level. Yes, gaming is a selfish experience. We all know that. That's the way it's supposed to be, because at the end of the day, it's a hobby that we spend money on. Just the same way as you going out jet skiing, golfing, motorcycling, what else you got? Whatever hobby that you're into, you're spending money on it. Then you have no right to come in within the gaming scene and not at least, if you're going to be someone of importance, someone that has some dedication, someone that has a following, and not do your minimal research. Minimal, very minimal. You can type into Google, hey, who's the head of 343? It's going to tell you Bonnie Ross, not Chris Lee, who left in October of last year, bro. Like, come on. It's not about it just being, oh, it was an April Fool's. They fell for it. No, they didn't. You falling for it shows me your dedication to your craft and why I shouldn't take you seriously. There are people that are within our space and other circles, because, again, I'm not just speaking from our community. That's not what it is. It's other spaces. There's people on Facebook. There's people on Reddit. There's people on Instagram who are talking about these same things and ran with this. Like this fake thing went bigger than what it should have. You know what I mean? And it's all because people didn't pay attention. Again, I'm passionate about it because we're trying to get gaming to that next level again.
Credibility.
Thank you. I couldn't think of the word. We're trying to give the credibility to not just gaming, but the people that really dedicate their passion and their love for this hobby, for what we enjoy. And we've been doing it for so long, man. I would think that we would be better than this. And it's been proved. You keep proving me time and time again why I keep to myself, why I'm not in and out people's parties, I'm not just why I take the extra 10 seconds to do the research, to do a quick Google search, whatever the case. We live in an internet age, dog. Like, what are we doing?
Right. And like Indie Gamer said it in the chat too. I mean, he said there was some of that, people realized it was fake and they were just continuing to troll. And yes. I get that. There is some of that. What we're specifically more talking about is just the fact that these professional sites that run with this garbage, right? These professional people that run with this garbage. Again, we know we're going to have trolls in the community. We're going to have people who think it's funny, that it's a joke, whatever else. And it was. When I first read it, I was laughing, especially at the Chris Lee thing. I was like, are you kidding me? Like, really? You put Chris Lee at the end. This is awesome, right? Because it was obviously fake. Right. But to have professionals that run with it, and it goes to a greater, it's not just one. Again, there are some really awesome professionals out there. There's some people that I enjoy that bring good content, that bring quality content, and that do the work necessary to become a professional games journalist. Whatever that entails, whether it's strictly YouTube, whether it's writing, whatever the case may be. We know personally people that do this for a living that are again, from start to finish, a fact check, they make sure that what they're putting out there is quality, but is also obviously truth. Unless it's an opinion-based article, they're giving people the truth because they don't ever want it to come back that, hey, you're putting out fake stuff. You're putting out false information. That's part of journalistic integrity. Exactly. And again, that's missing. And these bigger corporations now, we've lost all of it. And it's from the top down. When something like this happens, that means there's failure at all levels within that corporation 1000%. Or that company, that organization. There's a failure all over the place. That means they're okay with this kind of stuff. Right. And that's what we're getting to, is the people that want to do this just simply to be the first, to get that negative energy out there that people seem to be drawn to, that they love, the clickbaitiness, all that kind of stuff. That's what we're talking about here. And again, but shout out to all of them, because you make our jobs easier. You make people like us even more. The small channels, the people who come with energy, positivity, that speak facts, that speak, whatever the case may be, that aren't trying to lie to people just to get that next click. Right. Thank you, because you're making us more popular, even if you look down upon us. So thank you again. Saturday morning, one of the rants is over with, Steel. Look,
we blowing through it again, man. I'm telling you.
you blowing through this, man. Look at this. 49 minutes. Look at all these people. Look at Nuke. We got boom, kaboom, kaboom in the room. Nuke
Under
Nukem,
himself.
man. That's right. It just did Xbox Ultimate with him last night.
Yes,
Reign of the
excellent
Third
show.
Eye has shown up. Psychonauts 8, my brother.
Ooh, Psycho.
He's
What's
coming
going on?
in here. We're waking people up. Lady AF showed her face.
Ooh.
Now, she admitted on Xbox Ultimate last
Mm-hmm.
night that last week she woke up remembering that it was our first episode and she promised to be there. So she actually woke up long enough to type on her phone, enter the YouTube, say hi, and then roll over and went back to sleep while we were talking.
I
shout
love
out
it.
to Lady.
I love it.
Shout out to Lady.
I love it.
So, well, look at all these great people. Chat, we love you. Thank you so much for coming out today. It's amazing. We got Stubbs in here. My buddy Stubbs Gaming.
Blue.
He's awesome. I've got Six Slayer in here. Oh my god, man. Maddie Burns. Oh man.
Man,
Look
come
at this
on
crew.
through, man. This is what it's about. We're here to get
This is
y'all
what it's
rolling
about.
into the weekend, man. We're here to
Oh!
show y'all some love. What's going
Blue
on?
just showed up.
Blue did
just
show.
showed up.
I said, the blue
He
is
just showed
here.
up.
Look, man, we getting an awesome party going. We got 21 with us. We got 22 likes, bro. I'm liking the evenness of everything. You know what I
Hey,
mean?
Graphic God is in the house.
We got the
Jay,
graphic guy.
legend.
Yo, I got my fault, Pong. Let me get on this keyboard real quick. Let me slide in real quick. I got to show graphic God some love.
That's
Hey.
right, man. Share this stuff out. If you guys enjoy what you're hearing,
Facts.
just get it out there. We love you all. Thank you so much for coming out. All right, Steele, we got a rant out of the way. I got another one. We'll see where it goes. But you know what? Let's get into the big topic. That popped up yesterday. Obviously, a Friday feast. Man,
Go ahead.
A Friday feast.
Go
And this
ahead.
is when I say feast, it was a feast on all levels,
It
right?
was.
We're talking about every definition of feast was yesterday, right? So
It was good. It was delicious.
MLB The Show.
Delicious.
MLB The Show. The once exclusive PlayStation title. And again, we talk about every console here. We started off with a little Nintendo kind of side topic, right? So we talk about all topics, all platforms. It doesn't matter. We're not trying to focus on one. But when news like this drops, we got to cover it, right?
Exactly.
So it's Xbox heavy, but it also involves PlayStation. So MLB The Show, the once famed exclusive PlayStation title, is no longer exclusive, which we knew, right? That was announced. The deal was up. MLB came in, strong-armed Sony, and said, "Hey, you know what? It's been great run. We love having our game. You guys did a great job with it. It's been one of the best sports titles out there year after year. We need more people seeing this stuff because our game, we're one of the major sports in America, and yet we don't have the popularity of an NFL. We don't have the popularity of an NBA, right? And we want more people to see this game. Oh, and by the way, the game's doing great, but it isn't making the money that EA over there is making. I'm sure that was part of it, right? So they're not signing big contracts like the NFL, NHL, FIFA.
Just to give you some
or with
perspective, just to come, I don't want to cut you off, Pong, because you're on fire.
Oh no, go ahead.
But
Go
just
ahead.
to give the people some
Go ahead.
perspective, as you continue laying down some heavy rain and preaching that soul, brother. Look. The reason, part of the reason they did this move, don't you think? I definitely want to get your opinion on this. The last year that we can get sales for the game is 2018. For 2019, 2020, they haven't shown any sales, but from everything that I have seen, has said that, this year we sold more than last year. Okay, so the last year that they have actual sales for is 2018, and they only sold 1.08 million copies. So let's say for 2019, they sold more than 2020, they sold more. That's what they said. So let's just give them 1.3 million copies that they sold last year, for an example. 1.3 million copies versus almost 300 million consoles?
Yep.
What are we doing? I feel like that might be part of the reason.
Oh, yeah.
Go
Oh,
ahead.
no, that's definitely a part of it. And shout out to Matt Burns, too. He's in there saying a huge reason I've owned the past 3 PlayStation consoles is MLB The Show. Almost always the game that pushed me into grabbing one. There are people like that out there, believe it or not. The show was a thing. The show was big. I'm not a baseball fan in real life, but I have played the show in my life. Now, I haven't played it the past couple years, but I've owned it on Vita, and I owned it on PlayStation 4, owned it on PlayStation 3. Okay? Show is the real deal. So the fact that MLB came in and said, it's been great. We've had a good relationship, but guess what? Licensing is up. If you guys want to keep the license, you got to put it on another platform.
Right.
We want more people in this community, right? We want more people to enjoy the game, and that means you're gonna actually have to make it multi-plat.
Right.
Of course, Sony doesn't want to lose a license. It's a big license. It's a prestigious license, right? That it's not given out to just to anybody, right? We used to have baseball games all the time. Now we've got officially licensed baseball games. I think there's RBI and this one.
Believe so? Yeah.
Something like that.
I'll check it out.
Yeah, something like that. So fact that they came in and strong-armed Sony and said, okay, you're going to do this, right? We knew all of that. We already knew it was going multi-plat. This happened, I think, 1.5, 2 years ago. The news came out that this was going to happen, right? We didn't get a game. We didn't get a game last year due to COVID, right? I think 2019 was the last, something like that.
Yeah.
So we kind of knew this was coming, but. And the bombshell,
that's right.
Absolute bombshell that dropped yesterday is that Microsoft, they held off a day. They could have announced this on a Thursday. Fridays are usually the bad news dump day.
Right.
But we actually got good news yesterday because Microsoft wanted to avoid April Fools because they didn't want everybody to think it was a joke.
Yes.
MLB The Show, and date, Game Pass. Are you kidding me? Right? Are you kidding me? So this game went from being PlayStation exclusive, one of the trophies that the fanatics over on the Sony side would hold up and say, don't you wish you guys had that over there? Right? Don't you wish you had a baseball game like MLB The Show?
Right.
This is one of our pride and joys. It's not only going to be multi-plat, but is going to be a game and date.
Yes.
Sony people have to spend $70, $80, $100 for the special edition, whatever it is. And we get not only the regular console version in Game Pass, but we get the next gen version in Game Pass for all of us lucky enough that do have the next gen consoles.
Exactly.
This is huge news steal. You know, I've got my opinions on it, but I've done the intro here. So I want to hear yours. I want to know what you're feeling about this. Okay. What does this do to the industry? You know, just tell me what you think, what you feel. You know, you can take it down any road you want to. You know, you can talk about the impact on Game Pass. You can talk about the impact on Sony, whatever you want.
All
just
right.
Tell it.
All right. Well,
bring that rain.
Look, SSO BSX, I kind of want to play off of what he said because he asked the question, living split screen, do you guys think Xbox can surpass PSN sales this gen? And look, man, to answer your question, because I felt like that is an important question because it's also kind of ties into what we're talking about. Look, do I feel like they're going to surpass them in sales? Depends on what we're talking about, SSO. For me...
Game's changed. The game's changed.
Hardware isn't if you're basing it off of hardware, I don't that's not the play. I mean, sure, Microsoft wants to sell hardware, but I mean, Microsoft wants to sell anything that has Microsoft attached to it. So you could say that for Windows too. They just want to sell Windows. You could say that for Office. They just want to sell Office. So just like this, with them taking gaming serious in 2017 with Game Pass, because let's be real, that's what they're using. They're using Game Pass to be the vehicle for this digital age, because again, like in 2013, Microsoft kind of showed you that, hey, we're moving to a more digital way of doing things. YouTube was blowing up. Netflix was becoming a huge thing. They went from doing DVDs, sending DVDs to your home. Imagine how crazy we thought that was, to then creating a streaming app and streaming it to your TV, completely removing, again, the hardware, the physical of it, going away. They slipped up in 2013. They were too early. TV wasn't that important. But as we look almost 10 years later, TV has become more important. It's in a service now. Everything is baked in. And now, in 2017, they gave you something to say, hey, we want to have a Netflix-like service. And I don't like saying Netflix because there's some connotations that come with Netflix. You know what I mean? And there's a lot of bad connotations a lot of the time with Netflix because Netflix has its kind of, they have a couple handfuls of things that are great. But I feel like with Game Pass, it's more so, I look at Game Pass kind of like a museum.
But you know what, Steel? Wait, hold on.
Go ahead.
What's your Netflix comment, man? I don't want to interrupt your reign here, but just, the Netflix comment, I really think that's a personal kind of take as far as when it comes to the general public, because you know what? It does have some questionable stuff for me too, and some maybe not some okay stuff, but I bet you there's people out there that love it. I bet you there's people out there watching that stuff, right? And again, that's what Game Pass is going for.
Exactly.
Not every game is for everybody, but they have something for everyone. And I think that's the way it be. So when people bring out that fodder comment, it's Game Pass fodder or whatever the case may be, they're missing the point. That's a personal opinion. And we could all say a game that may not be AAA. There's going to be people that love that game. Whether you and I do, doesn't matter. Exactly. It doesn't matter because there's another 25 games that both you and I will love in there at least. Exactly. So, what? Continue. Sorry,
that's perfect because that fits right in with what I was saying about. I see Game Pass like a museum. Everything that you see in a museum, you may not care about. You may not even want to look at. You might not even understand the art behind the whole idea of it. But that is the point. Kind of with Game Pass. Again, I always try to take it back, as some may say, harken it back. We throw an old school word in there. To what our homie. Gosh, I can't think of his name right now, but it's someone within the community. It keeps saying this, and it's something that I'm always going to continue to put out on our show. Is that gaming and your your games are pieces of art and should be treated as such. They need to be in the best light that they can possibly be on, and the fact that there's people keep saying 18. I'm pretty sure there's at least 20 million. I feel like people are really downplaying Game Pass and its growth too. But anyway, get a guarantee.
Wait. You might like Da Vinci, and I might like Monet.
Yeah,
that's kind of where we're going.
Exactly. But it opens up so many doors when you have 20 million people that are guaranteed that come through every museum. I mean, they get traffic every day. The pieces are getting looked at, or even if you're into art galleries or whatever you may be into, or you might look at cars, whatever. When you go look at these things, they're placed in such a way to pique your interest. They speak to you. Not everybody gets their neighbor's car. You know what I mean? You're not going to the grocery store and getting the same food everybody's getting. Like, there's so many varieties and a lot of that stuff, and I feel like that's what's important with what they're doing with Game Pass. The fact that MLB The Show is coming to Game Pass, a game that was exclusively made for the PlayStation. Again, when you see numbers like maybe even 1.3 million copies sold on one console, MLB said, no, that is enough. We need more money than that. We put hard work, time, and dedication. Not only that, they take time away from those players. And regardless of how you feel about baseball, they take time away from those players and say and put them in the game. They'll give you as the player, the most realistic simulation baseball that you can have. And I feel like I feel like that can't go unannounced. So you can't fault them for saying, because right now the kind of conversation that's there is, because if you look on the PlayStation side, the show is published by PlayStation, but on the Xbox side, the show is published by MLB. So it kind of opens up a can of worms when you really think about it, because it's like, okay, well, what's really going on? Usually when a game is published, it's published from one place, not multiple places. Minecraft is published by where? Okay. Exactly.
Oh, Microsoft.
Microsoft now, but every time that is Mojang, yeah, but it's also Microsoft. It's like one and the same. Yeah, MLB and PlayStation are one of the same, but now it's seeming like there's something else kind of going on because PlayStation is doing the work. Addict said it on a show yesterday. Shout out to Lord Addict and Lord
Shout out to
Cognito.
Iron Lords. Shout
Out to the Iron Lords. Look, he said it best. With a move like this, why should Sony keep making MLB?
Right.
Why?
I heard that.
Because they have to. You've been in the relationship this long. If you want to keep that deal, you're going to have to do exactly what MLB tells you to do, and there's nothing that you can do about that. You're not going to let the title go because it's one of your key titles for why people will buy a console. Just like Matt Barnes said, there's people who only buy a console for sports games. There was a very long conversation for a long time. Well, I'm not going to say there was a long conversation, but there was a long debate over an extended amount of time about where sports games were played at best.
Correct.
People always said, oh, Sony. We play sports games on Sony because it just looks better over there.
Yeah, that goes back to Genesis and Super Nintendo, by the way, too.
Exactly. So it's like you've always had that thing. Now it opens the can of worms up more because if it's not only going to be games like Outriders, third-party games, if it's going to be games like MLB The Show, that we still don't know if it's going to be in PS Now or PS Plus or whatever the case might be, that's going to be a shot in the foot. Your customer's going to wake up, and I mean, people are already doing it and looking at you and saying, Sony, why I'm paying $60, $70 for this game and they're getting it on Game Pass for $15 a month, $10 a month. And that could be a whole different conversation because I know a lot of people, oh, you pay this X amount of dollars every year for Game Pass, even though that's 3 games worth. Let's be honest, or 2 games worth, honestly, worth of games.
In some cases, nowadays, especially with tax and stuff.
2 games worth a year, you can get a year worth of game.
We'll cut it in half.
You get 2.5 games a year. With 2.5 games, you can get a year worth of Game Pass, if not more, and have so much more access. Especially when you see plays like this being made, it makes it hard to make an argument for the other side of the coin and make people not realize, hey, man, that Microsoft's changed the game. I don't know what you want us to do. I mean, we as the consumer just want what's best. And that's what's important also, is that this can of worms is going to make Sony, I think it's going to make Sony tilt on its head. And I know a lot of people are like, oh, yeah, we don't know what else Sony got in the back burner. Again, like I've heard other people say, I'm going to use their same words. I don't see how they could come back from this. I don't see what they can do to fix this. Why? Microsoft has been doing this since 2013. This was the plan. Game Pass was the plan. That just didn't pop up out of nowhere. Have you not listened to these devs and when these people from the company talk? There's a lot of things that they're in development. They're talking about years in advance before it actually becomes a reality, and half of it gets scrapped. Game Pass was talked about in 2013, and that's why that change started getting made. If you didn't recognize it in 2017, after you had your service out for 2 years, now your service is 2 years up ahead of Game Pass, and you still only have 2.2 million people in your service, there's a problem. Game Pass is 20 plus million, and it's been out, and it's a younger service than you are. What are we doing? If that's not your plan, then you have to let your customers know at some point what your plan is. I personally don't believe that games themselves are going to do it for you. You have to give us something else, especially after you see Microsoft make the kind of plays that they have made. It is undeniable what they're doing to the industry. Again, people are already, and I find it so funny because I always go back to this. You must have forgot Microsoft goes hand in hand with the word monopoly. That's the
old 90s. That's the 90s.
And that's not,
yeah,
but
I get what you're saying.
When people think of Microsoft, people are like, oh, those bullies. Did y'all not forget about that? Did y'all forget about that? It's like these are the things that we have to keep in mind. I see a lot of big plays happening. I don't want Sony to go anywhere. I want Sony to actually as some have also said, be competitive, because at the end of the day, a move like this, it's not going to just because it's not just going to affect Sony. It's going to affect Nintendo. Nintendo's going to once they see what Game Pass is doing, why wouldn't they? We have a mobile service for you already. Sure, you can use xCloud or whatever else the case might be, but why not use it on our Switch? You see where it's going now? And Nintendo already has a good relationship with Microsoft. Now, originally they laughed them out the door, not the, long while back, but now they're kind of
that's in the past. That's
exactly. But I mean, but you got I like to tell stories in whole. You know what I mean? Because people sometimes they forget. They don't like to tell the whole story. They just like to run with specific parts and turn it into its own little beast. And that's not what it's about. Look, man. There's an untapped amount of potential that we're going to. And like my brother Pong always goes back to saying, we are in a golden age of gaming. I just hope that you guys are seat buckled in, because you got your car seat for the kids. You got snacks for the road.
Remember that, people. You may see that on a T-shirt someday. Okay? I'm just telling you. You may see it around someday. And I don't care if it's not the most original idea ever. I don't care. I think it's the most applicable to what we got coming right now. So.
Exactly. But yeah, man. Essentially, that's it. That's it from me, man. I think it's a good move, kind of, again, to touch on what SSO kind of led off with. I don't think that Microsoft is going to necessarily beat them in hardware sales, but I wouldn't be surprised either if it came down to that. I think the overall plan is the service side of things. And again, when you were a company trying to fight hardware against hardware with hardware, you're playing outside of what you're good at, you're going to be at a disadvantage. But then when you start playing to what you are good at, what you can accomplish, playing to your strengths, you start seeing things play out differently. So, but Pong, man, the people have heard me bring the rain. I even added some steel behind it.
Oh, I know you brought it, brother, and you had some really big points in there.
What you got for
first of all, OBSX, you got coming up with some great conversation here. He was talking about Killer Instinct in in the chat about who's going to do it. And just to quickly answer your question, Arc System Works or NetherRealm, I think WB is still on the table, and I think that's a major play. And again, that's personal opinion. You got Steele and I are connected here. We're not Randall, Insider, Thor, Jez Gordon, Jeff Grubb. We're none of those guys. But so all this stuff is just steam and opinion that I gather, and I think WB is still on the table. So NetherRealm would be the play to make the next Killer Instinct. I believe that's the big one.
Pong, real quick. I feel like that might be why they push Arkham Knights back.
Correct.
I don't think it has anything to necessarily do with the game per se. I think there's something else in play there.
Right. No,
more time.
It's possible.
That's just that's a career like Boob likes to say, let's take a trip down to Speculation Town. That's just me speculation. You know what I mean?
Right. That is Speculation Town, folks.
That's me.
Speculation Town. Don't clip that and run with it. All right. Anybody out there who's like, all right. As far as MLB The Show goes, you had some great points in there, Steele, and I loved you. You gave the backdrop about where this was and where it's going. Right. So. Again, MLB The Show is just the beginning, folks. What this means from a Sony standpoint is that they're going to have to pivot or make the decision on what they're going to do at some point. This is the future.
Exactly.
Okay? Whether we like it or not, whether you are for a digital, Netflix style service future, I think that's been shown across all industries at this point, as far as media goes, as far as entertainment goes. I think you're seeing that speed up due to the pandemic, due to everybody being at home. You're seeing this process kind of quicken, right? Because the simple fact is more people are at home now than ever. There are some people whose jobs, Microsoft being one of them, they're going to allow people to work from home for the rest of their lives if they want to. They're not. The office space has been disrupted. You're going to see people staying at home more and more. And so what that does is these services, we've seen Disney Plus explode onto the scene again, because of content. Okay. Not because they offered something different, but they offered exclusive content. Okay. Because you can't get that anywhere else. You want your Star Wars, you got to go to Disney Plus, right? This is what happened. And Microsoft had this plan. They watched Netflix grow, from a small subscriber base to 100 million plus subscribers. Okay. The whole time while they were working in the background to get up and running with Game Pass. And this was Phil and the other team's dream of what was going to happen. This is a scenario that they thought out. So Sony is going to have to, again, I'm not in the camp that Sony's dying. Okay. Shout out to King David. King David says that Sony's going to become a third-party developer. Okay, he doesn't want to see them die, but he just wants them to all their games to come everywhere. Okay, right. He just wants the games. I don't think that's going to happen. There's a bunch of different scenarios I could see happening, but Sony's going to survive. They're too strong. Okay, they've got a fanatical fan base. At the end of the day, they're a lot like Nintendo. Okay, and that's one route they could go if they choose not to embrace this and not compete with Microsoft on a Game Pass level. They could create a smaller service, and because their first party studios are so strong, right? You could have a real, I mean, again, if Sony created a service that was like Game Pass and just offered their first party titles in there, and maybe a couple, indie titles sprinkled here and there, maybe some third parties every once in a while, dude, I'd subscribe. I'd subscribe in a heartbeat.
100%.
So when I go get my PS5, I'd be all in, man. They're going to live. They're going to have to make that choice. Now, they don't have to go the Game Pass route. Okay. They're strong enough to stand on their own. But do they run the risk of missing this change, right? This kind of this evolution of sorts, right? Do they miss the boat and then find themselves in a position too far behind to catch up in any meaningful way, and you become more like Nintendo, right? Which is okay, but it changes your dynamic it's going to change the dynamic of the ecosystem that you're in. If you choose to go that route, okay, and you're not going to make the reason why, let's say, I'll explain this part. Opinion wise here, again, I'm not a financial great mind here. I'm not coming from experience. I haven't been in the industry, but I'm just going to tell you what I see from the outside looking in. Okay. Nintendo itself made the choice to do what they did. They went over to their own pond. Okay. The fish that is Nintendo grew legs and moved itself over to another pond and said, we're not playing this game anymore where we're chasing the next most powerful hardware. Okay. They removed themselves from that, went to their own pond and said, this is what we're going to do. We're going to focus on all of what makes Nintendo great. Okay. On top of that, we love making new experiences for people. So we're going to go ahead and sell cardboard stamped with Nintendo on it for $100, and people are going to love it because that's what we do. And I respect that hustle. Even though I don't buy Nintendo stuff, I respect the hustle.
Yo, here's some cardboard.
But what Nintendo does is they when they made that shift, right? They no longer chase that cutting edge tech, right? They didn't chase that anymore, because what that does is it makes your hardware so expensive that you're selling it at a loss, much like Sony, or close to break even, right? Okay. That makes it very hard. Nintendo instead said, hey, our games don't need cutting edge tech. We don't need to push forward on that. So what we're going to do is we're going to start using old tech. We are going to create new experiences with that older tech, but it's going to cost us a whole lot less so that we make money out the gate, so that we don't have to invest and then take a loss or break even and then hope that we get enough people in our ecosystem. What they're saying is we're gonna make money from the hardware, we're gonna make money from the software, and we're gonna make money on the little services that we do offer, because even those are 20 some years old, right? So that's Nintendo's pond, and they've done a great job with it, right? They had a slip up. the Wii U obviously was a failure. I mean, arguably a commercial failure. It did not do what Nintendo wanted to do, especially after coming off the Wii, which was a world dominating, console. Right?
Exactly. Mm-hmm.
So they had the Wii U. They went back to the drawing board, did what they do. Right? They pivoted and said, hey, we're going to take what we learned from the Wii U, and then we're going to make the Switch.
Right.
Okay. And the Switch is dominant. Okay. The Switch is
undeniable. 100%.
Right. It is on pace to break Sony's records.
Yes.
Right. For if
in
it
less
continues
time
down this road in less time. Right. So again, that's what they did. Sony and Microsoft continued on with the war. Right. Sony and Microsoft continued on with the war. We know what happened last generation. Microsoft said, you know what? We see the future as this. We are going to change the rules of the game, much like Nintendo.
Right.
We're going to move over to this pond. Sony, go ahead and follow us if you want to, but we're going over to this pond over here. And this pond over here is a place where hardware doesn't matter so much. Microsoft said, what are we good at? We're a software and service company.
Yes.
That's what we do. Guess what, Sony? Take your win, right? Take your win. We can't compete on the same level over here on hardware.
Right.
Okay. We're still going to make hardware. We're still going to make consoles. We're still going to do that game. But guess what? We're going to make it so that it's not important if we can't beat you in that war.
Right.
We're going to go ahead and move over here to this pond, and we're going to start a service that's Netflix in style that uses that model. Again, there are some differences, actually some really big differences when it comes to the fact that when you go to Netflix, you can't buy their movies off of Netflix, right?
Right, exactly.
You're just renting them. Whereas Microsoft, you still have the option to buy the games digitally as well. That gives them some buffer. That gives them a whole lot more opportunity as well. We're going to move over here and we're going to play this game. And if you guys want to try to follow us, you can.
Right.
We're going to get the lead, okay? And that's what they did. And so now Sony finds themselves kind of in between these two worlds. They're still playing the old game up to this point.
Mm-hmm.
Things that show that they're interested in maybe moving in that direction. We've seen that. The MLB The Show is a culmination of all of that happening, right? MLB The Show, the only reason MLB The Show is on Xbox Game Pass day and date is because MLB itself got the bag. Okay. They got the bag from Microsoft. Now, again, we don't know all the details. Nobody does. Unless you were involved in the meetings, unless you were actually there at the table, nobody knows for sure how much say Sony had, if they had any say in this, or whatever the case may be, if they're getting a cut of this. Nobody knows. The fact is that MLB not only said, hey, Sony, you got to go multi-platform,
right,
but oh, by the way, we're going to cut a deal with Microsoft because Phil showed up with a bag of money and said, we'd love to have this in Game Pass day and date. Mm-hmm. Have you seen our numbers, by the way? Probably around 20, 25 million. We can get that in front of that many people. We can get your game in front of that many people day and date if you just drop it in the Game Pass for us. And we're going to pay for some of the development costs, by the way. Right? So that's only happening because Microsoft set this up. And this is just the beginning, Steel. If you listen to people with a lot more knowledge than you or I, if you listen to people in the know, okay, out there, you understand that this is just the beginning of what we're going to see in 2021. MLB The Show is just the tip of the iceberg. Mm-hmm. And so what you're going to see happen, and Outriders, let's make that clear, Outriders as well. These third-party deals, day and date for Game Pass, are coming, and they're going to come faster, and they're going to come more frequently as we go along. Game Pass is becoming the service you can't ignore, whether you're a consumer, whether you're a dev, whether you're a publisher. Okay, you can't ignore Game Pass anymore, and that's what Microsoft is doing here. Right. MLB The Show is just the beginning. We are going to see this trend through 2021 because Microsoft right now understands their weaknesses. When they lost the golden egg that is Halo, okay, they pivoted to 2021. Phil has come out and said this personally, so I'm not talking out of my ass this morning. Okay, Phil came out and said holiday 2021 is the key to Microsoft. Okay, so the point being is that they pivoted 2021 and realized that they don't have the first party stuff. Right? They don't have they've got the teams, but they're all making stuff. And a lot of those teams, when they got bought or when Microsoft purchased them,
Mm-hmm.
they were already making stuff that was going to go multi-plat. So they had to wait for all these contracts. You know, the Outer Worlds from Obsidian had to come out multi-plat because the contract was in place. They had to produce the DLC, right? So all that stuff is kind of in a holding pattern. It's going to start to loosen up, hopefully this fall. You know, we could see Forza Horizon 5, we could see Starfield, we could see Halo drop.
Yes.
That's going to be a huge holiday 2021 if those dominoes line up, right?
Yep.
That is a three-headed monster. That is a three-headed monster that nobody's going to want to take on if those three drop. Okay, again, we don't know. There's a lot between here and there that could happen, but let's just assume those three are going to drop. But they know they got to carry this beginning portion of this year at least, rolling into 2022. But the holiday 2021 is so important for Microsoft that they knew they were going to have to fill it with other things. We just saw the ID at Xbox. We saw 20 plus games coming to Game Pass just out of that one show. Okay. And that's just what they consider indie games. Again, you look at Stalker 2, you look at Second Extinction, you know, you look at all these games out there that don't look like what we think of as indie games. And then you've got all these great smaller games as well coming in to Game Pass. This is Microsoft's plan to get the hype train at full speed into holiday 2021. MLB The Show is a win on top of a win for Microsoft because that is a key game that they have not had. And now with EA, Play being in Game Pass, you've got the major sports covered. You've got a game from every major sport on your system. And not only on your system, but in Game Pass. We can, again, Madden 20, again, we understand that the stuff from EA is not day and date. We got to wait a little bit. But right now, when somebody gets their Xbox, their Series X or their Series S, or they go ahead and use xCloud on their mobile, when they look at Game Pass, you see every major sports franchise represented there by the best or considered the best as of this moment in each one of those, right? You got them all there. This is a huge deal, man. This is a huge deal. MLB is big. When you go to any ballpark, MLB The Show is what's represented there when it comes to advertising.
100%.
And now it's going to include Xbox. And people are going to start to realize, again, the hardcore, we're small in scale. But when people go walk into GameStop or look online and say, I want to play the MLB The Show because baseball season is starting. Don't think that wasn't planned. Opening week is here, right? And Microsoft got the word out that, oh, by the way, we're getting a Game Pass. That's a huge deal, right? 100%. And so when people go and look up and say, hey, I want to play a baseball game this year, they're not only going to see the PlayStation, they're also going to see the Xbox next to it.
Yep.
And they're going to realize they have a choice. And then they're going to dig a little deeper and they're going to be like, oh, wait, so Game Pass is this. Now I understand Game Pass is an optional service I can get. It has nearly 400 games, but it also has MLB The Show in it.
Yeah.
And I can go play that right now on top of all this other stuff.
Crazy.
Dude, bet. That's a sale. Yeah, that is a sale. And next, the other point is that now you got the hardcore PlayStation fans questioning why they are over on PlayStation. If they are there, why not also own a Series S?
Yes. Why
not also own a Series X? Because they're looking across the way now, and there are going to be those people out there that play the MLB The Show every single year, and that's one of their top games. You can get it for free. It's not free. We understand that, but they can buy Game Pass. They can get a Series S, jump into the ecosystem and get it instead of paying $70, $80, $90 over here on PlayStation.
Yes, exactly.
That's mind share. That's mind share. You're starting to grab the mind share. You're seeing the turn. Worm is turning right now for Microsoft. They're grabbing all of that back. You're seeing the articles coming out about Microsoft that are positive. You're seeing the articles coming out that are criticizing Sony. Okay. The worm is turning. And again, I don't want to see any of them die. I don't want to see any of them fail. This is competition, folks. This is competition. This is what everybody should want because it's going to drive Sony to have to respond in some kind of way. Okay. What they choose to do is up to them, but they have to respond in kind. They're going to respond in kind. This pushes the industry forward. Okay. This competition, Microsoft is engaged. And I say Microsoft because this is a $2 trillion company.
Right.
Okay. Everybody used to talk about the war chest, but we didn't see the war chest open up. Now we're seeing the war chest open up.
Exactly.
Because now it's Microsoft. Now it's not just Xbox is this fun little
toy
side deal.
Yeah,
right?
exactly.
Right. So now they are a pillar of Microsoft, which is a $2 trillion company. And we're seeing what competition does for the industry. They are shaking it up. They are disrupting it. Whatever you want to use, they are disrupting the industry because they are fully engaged. And this is good for us as consumers. I don't know how long this goodness is going to last. I'm calling it the golden age of gaming because I see what's coming down the pipe, and we're going to be eating good for the next 4 or 5 years. We're going to be eating good.
Yeah.
And I don't know how long it's going to last, but I'm going to enjoy the ride while it's here.
I think it's going to last a while. To be quite honest, because I think with this is going to lead us into from here we go whatever is the future of gaming, whether that's VR, whether that's whatever the case might be. We can only sit here and have conversation about what we think the potentials could be. It's amazing to me what's happening. The fact that there's question now people are getting are pulling out the questions. What do I do now? Do I spend that 60? Do I spend that 60, 70 bucks? Is that still the way? Because the argument of I want to own my games. It's hard to make that argument when down the road Microsoft has said, hey, we're going to support your old games. We look at your games like art. When Microsoft has said, hey, has also said, hey, let's look at some of the bad too, where if the servers go down on some of these games, you don't have access to them anymore. It is what it is. A lot of these games have servers tied to them for you to even play single player. So if that game's gone, then it doesn't matter whether you have the hard copy or not. It becomes a coaster for you. It becomes a plate for you to eat off of, or it just becomes an antique of some sort. It's crazy because the entire vision of everything is changing. You see it within everybody. I thought it was, we saw the change within the hardcore. Everybody in the hardcore is like, yeah, man, I'm mostly digital. Yeah, we have our few that are still like they're adamant about the physical. There's nothing wrong with that. Again, gaming is supposed to be however you like to do it, in whichever fashion that you choose to do it in, because it's gaming at the end of the day. But the options, and fortunately or unfortunately, as things become more digital and as we move into this golden age of gaming, we're gonna get that on the shirt, golden age of gaming. But as we move into the golden age of gaming, as we call it, I just think there's going to be more innovation, more accessibility. Because
digital, it allows what Microsoft is doing, where they're going to put the app on your TV, they're going to put it on your phone, they're going to put it wherever you are. They're probably going to come out with a streaming stick right next. So again, wherever you are, accessibility, that's what digital does. That's the benefit of digital.
Yes.
We're going to be able to take all of our games on the go wherever we are easily. We used to have to bring whole consoles and wires and TVs to LAN parties.
Preach.
All that's gone. All that's gone, man.
Exactly.
Now you just be able, wherever you are, it doesn't matter. You're going to be able to pop in your game, have your saves, have everything right there for you. That is the benefit of digital. There are pitfalls, and there are some not so good things about being all digital.
That's with everything.
But again, gotta embrace it because it's here and it's not going away. It's not going away. So we just have to sit back and, again, as you and I always talk about, Steel, think about the positive side of things, because that's what we're here to do. And there's some really cool things that come with being all digital. And again, I like my physical in some ways too. I really do. But it does not give you the flexibility, the accessibility that being digital does.
Exactly. And that's what it's about, man. It's not about whether MLB The Show is going to make Xbox sell 5 million more consoles. That's not what it is. It's just opening the eyes. Things obviously aren't the same. Things obviously aren't going the way that people thought they were going to go. And our eyes are being opened up more and more on a day-to-day basis.
And it's about engagement now. It's about engagement now versus console sales. And again, Sony can play their own game. Nintendo can play their own game. That is perfectly fine, and it still works, and it will continue to work. It's just that engagement from Microsoft is what it's going to be about from here on out, and that means that they don't care about the console sales. Yes, they care enough to produce, a physical console because it's still necessary and people still want it. But again, overall, they don't care. If they sell 25 million consoles this generation, but they have 150 million people subscribe to Game Pass, they will count this as a huge, huge win, and they will leave this generation happy. That's what it's about. They don't care.
That's really dope, and that's exactly what it's about, and that's dope. Look, man, things are changing. The scene, things are moving, man. We got to be excited. Let's focus on
excited,
what's going on, man, because there's untapped and unlimited potential that people just don't understand. But look, just to kind of break it up real quick, I do want to again say, for everyone watching, I want to say thank you for tuning into your living split screen morning show that we do every Saturday, 9 a.m., 10 a.m., 9 a.m. Central, 10 a.m. Eastern, 3 p.m. UK time. And we're doing it for y'all, man. We're doing it for the community. We're trying to take gaming to the next level. We want to reach a broad audience. That's why we don't try to talk about specific things. And it's kind of why I also wanted to throw this little bit of a segment in. I think it might be cool as an idea. Let me know how you like what you think of it, Pong, because I'm kind of doing it on the fly.
Are we taking our shirts off this one?
Oh, this one that was last week. We thought that was going to be the plan, but this week I thought it was
this was the week, man.
I thought it was the pants this week.
Oh, pants off.
Okay, never mind.
I wasn't ready for that one.
Okay, maybe that was a previous conversation. My fault. But look, I wanted to tie it in because it's not about anything specific. I wanted to kind of do this, kind of to be spontaneous too. I wanted to do something called This Day in Gaming. Basically, what it is taking today, which is April the 3rd,
okay,
and going back. I basically go on Google. I'll type in This Day in Gaming, and I'll run through a couple of
guys. Again, sorry. See, I'll let you finish your segment here. But I just want everybody to know in the chat and anybody listening to this afterwards. Steel did not tell me about this. This is how organic we are. We just got stuff popping up in the middle of the show.
Facts.
So I'm going to be as surprised as everybody else here with where Steel's going with this. So continue, Steel.
So look, This Day in Gaming. Look, 28 years ago, Super Nintendo released Breath of Fire in Japan. 27 years ago, Sega CD released The Lawnmower Man. I'm not familiar with that game, but that's also about just as old as I am. So it's not familiar, and so that's probably why. 20 years ago, PlayStation released The Simpsons Wrestling. I remember that game. That game was tough.
I don't even remember that game.
That game was tough back then. Yeah, it was one of those games where I was too young to be watching The Simpsons, but a Simpsons game, now that was something I could get into. Boom, Xbox. 16 years ago, released Doom 3 on this date. That's crazy to think about. On the original Xbox.
Why are you making me feel old right now? Don't do this to me. It's Saturday.
It's Saturday.
Why are you reminding me?
It's Saturday, but
I don't know if I like this so much. Chad, do you like being reminded of how old games are right now? I'm sure some of you do, but man, I don't. All right. Continue.
Oh, shit. But again, it's because I feel like, and I wanted to throw this in, and that's why it's kind of, I feel like it's a good wrench, because for us not to be central on any specific platform, I feel like us going back, and because I feel like games should be treated like art, why not go back and look at what's going on in however many years ago. Once a week, we go through on a Saturday, probably towards the end of the show as we are now, and just say, hey, let's look back on some games. Some of these games we might even have memories with. Y'all in the chat, they might pop some ideas up with y'all. I feel like that was the whole point of this, and it being spontaneous. That's why I thought you'd like it too, Pong. But I don't mean to make you feel old, but I definitely want to make you reminisce a little bit. But so here we go. We're gonna keep going. We're almost there towards the end. But look, 14.
Thank you,
years ago.
Psychonauts. No, thank you, Psychonauts. No, it reminds me that I'm old. Laughing out loud. See? See, there are people that don't want to be reminded.
It's
Never
funny.
mind. Go ahead.
But
Go on.
look. If y'all don't like it, we'll delete it. We'll just pretend like this never happened. But
Oh,
I felt
Dragon
like it was
Wolf
a good
wants
idea.
it to continue. He said it's a
Facts.
great addition.
Facts.
So
Okay,
Dragon Wolf
perfect.
likes it.
All right, so boom. 14 years ago today, PlayStation 3 released Enchanted Arms. The DS released Final Fantasy Chocobo Tales. Xbox 360 Guitar Hero 2 released on April 3rd of 2007.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, that was a long time ago. Look at Stubbs.
Man.
Steel. Stop. Stubbs. All the old guys are showing up in chat.
I love it. I love it though, because it's crazy to see how far we've come in
crazy.
gaming, to look back on some of these games that we've touched on and played and had some time with, and just kind of reminisce a little bit. Again, this was part of the reason I was doing that. PSP and the Wii both released Prince of Persia: Rival Swords that year. Also, boom, this might be a good one. We're getting to it a little bit newer. 13 years ago, in 2008, Warriors Orochi 2 dropped on PlayStation 2.
Love me some Warriors Orochi.
Yes,
Love me some
classic.
Warriors
It's a
Orochi.
classic game. Classic game. There's a couple of them I'm gonna skip past. 2013 had Battle Block Theater. I don't really remember that. And then
I remember Battle Block Theater.
okay,
actually.
it dropped on the
All right,
Xbox
all right,
360
all right.
for those who are
Yep,
into
yep.
that. iOS had Injustice Gods Among Us. They had that on iPhone.
Yep.
That's crazy to think about. In 2013, they were already trying to bring actual console games to the phone. You know what I
Yep.
mean? That's something
It's
that's
been
crazy to
tried.
think about. And that's all.
They've been working on it.
That's a whole nother topic because we see where that's going. xCloud, baby.
That's right.
Xbox One, 3 years ago, released Terra, an MMO. One of the more renowned MMOs
Oh, yeah. Yep,
throughout
yep,
the
yep,
community. You know, it's not for everybody, but it was a solid game, and I believe it was free to play also, which is a good feat. Borderlands Game of the Year Edition 2 years ago in 2019 released on PlayStation 4, Xbox, and on Xbox One, which I'm pretty sure everybody has great memories of Borderlands. I wasn't a Borderlands fan myself, but I know there's a lot of people
Huge
who
Borderlands
are
fan.
Borderlands
buddy.
fans.
Huge.
Oh yeah.
Now you're talking.
Oh yeah.
Now you're speaking some language.
Oh yeah,
All right.
Borderlands is another one of those classics where I always will give the kudos to, because it's one of the games. No matter how you talk, no matter how you bring it up, people will come out the woodworks for it. And I feel like that's such a unique thing, man. Again, that was only 2 years ago, and that's the Game of the Year edition. And then 1 year ago in 2020. Resident Evil 3 released on all platforms, and then Resident Evil Resistance released on PlayStation 4. Again, this is this day in gaming, man. Taking it back to show you and reminisce a little bit on maybe some past titles that released on this fine
And make you
Saturday
feel old.
morning.
And make you feel old.
And
Even
to make-
older.
and to make you feel old if you're starting to feel a little old.
That's right. Hey, Steel,
What's going on, man?
have you checked out the chat, man? Or are
Yeah.
you too busy making
Fire.
me feel old?
Fire.
Mr. Boomstick is
Yes,
showing up.
I seen him. I had to
Double
make him a
Barrel
mod.
Gaming himself.
Had to make him a mod.
Fun Speculation, aka
Yes.
Mav, another brother from another, is
Right.
here helping us. Caitlin shows up.
Facts.
Look at that.
We got some fire
Avish.
people coming in tonight. I mean, this morning.
Avish is in the house. Oh man, you guys are all beautiful. Thank you all for coming out. Really,
Y'all are
bottom
fantastic.
of our hearts, man. Saturday morning. Thank you.
Again, man, our whole purpose for this is to show light within on gaming in total. Again, that's why I felt like that segment would be this day in gaming would be an amazing thing. Again, since we're not platform centric, and we try to be about everything. I want to include these works of art that people are dedicated, because I feel like that can't go understated enough. There are people that were.
I like where you're going with the works of art. By the way, Steele, I do like that thought.
I mean, because
we
honestly,
could all have disagreements on, but what is art?
yes.
At the end of the day, these are creations, and
Yes.
these are teams of people coming together. Sometimes single person dev teams, that just doing it by themselves. But you know what? They're creating something, and they're giving it to the world for all
Preach.
of us to see, to play, to enjoy.
Preach.
Hopefully, again, that's up for debate. Again, we all have different tastes,
Mhm.
but at the end of the day, it is a creative process. It is at the end of the day something that is given to us to experience. And so I do like where you're going with this whole works of art thing. I do like it.
I just feel like it should be one of the, as Microsoft has made Xbox a pillar of what they do. I feel like calling having games as pieces of art should be, or being recognized as pieces of art, should be one of our pillars, because it can't go understated enough. And I feel like that's more of a message that I would love to get across to everyone, that treat your games like art, man. Be open to the idea of being able to carry that art forward, to create those moments, and take them along with you. That's the whole reason that Microsoft created the cloud, with cloud saves and everything, to have, no matter how long it's been since you've played that game, you know that you can boot that game up and play it. I feel like it's important. It's something that I feel Sony needs to definitely jump on. I know it's a little convoluted for how they do it. Nintendo, the same thing. If you don't have the memory for it, you're replaying these games. Nintendo's a little different because of how their games are set up. Most of them are platformers, so it kind of is what it is with that. But overall, I mean, obviously Nintendo understands, because they keep re-releasing games, so they know that it's art. I mean, people who know that the art is important and has some kind of benefit to the community, they're going to keep re-releasing art. You know what I mean? Maybe it's a new piece, maybe it got some new paint on it, maybe it has just got clear coat on it. Who knows? At the end of the day, these people took time out of their lives, away from their families, years. This is not just, I feel like that's important. People took years of their life to create these experiences that may not be for everybody, but they are for somebody.
That is correct. And we need to preserve it, and the history of it is important because it now is a legacy. Yes. And I think that no matter what the title is, it should be considered as such. And if it can be preserved, if it can be, there for others to experience at some point down the future, I think that does need to be taken seriously. And I hope all the companies jump on board with these initiatives to make sure that those games are available for us down the road, whether we have the hardware or not, whether we have the physical disc or cartridge or not. At some point, with the digital age comes the ability to safeguard these things. And I think you do hit on a key point, that we should be looking at that, the museum type mentality, that we have this for all future generations to look back on. And if they want to play it, it should be available. Exactly. And I think that you're right. You're hitting the nail on the head there, Steel, for sure. So I appreciate your passion for that.
And I appreciate the support. I mean, I only say it. I mean, because that's how I genuinely feel. But I also feel like I can speak for both of us as far as that goes. I mean, in our conversations through the background is kind of what we always talk about. Just our overall passion, the love, the dedication that we have for this craft.
Exactly.
I mean, again, with the amount of podcasts that you're on every week, again, you can tell the passion, you can hear the passion, and that's what counts. You talking to the people and getting that good info out. Again, man, you're one of the good ones. That's why we're here doing it.
Thank you, brother.
And hopefully everyone that's joined us, hopefully that's part of the reason that y'all are into it. PK's in the house. I see he stepped in. Avish, like you said earlier, is in the house. We got Animated Evil's in the house.
He's playing games and listening to us. Love it,
man. That's fantastic, bro. Again. As we get into the conclusion of the show, we're getting up to 2 hours again. It is not, we don't set a time for this. We're not trying to go 2 hours, but we also don't set a time.
Not to go 2 hours either.
Exactly.
So we're just having a good time.
We're just having a
conversation.
Exactly. It's working organically. It's working naturally. And again, that's the whole point of the show. We're gonna keep reiterating that. Y'all might get tired of it, but we're gonna pound that into the head of everyone. That is the entire reason for this. To show love, to show dedication, to show passion, to show energy, because it's lacking within our community. It's lacking within the industry. And if we want more attention, more love, more recognition from everyone, then I feel like the only way that we can do that is through doing things like this and displaying our passion and talking about it in not only in a passionate way, but in an intelligent, interesting, and very communicative way. So
criticize when need to criticize, but otherwise keep it positive and keep the excitement going for what's coming, because I think we all lose sight of that. I think that's an adult thing that happens. We obviously are still all children at heart,
Yes.
to some degree, because we love these things. We love the games. We love the consoles. We love all of this. But at some point, the adult kicks in, and we wind up finding ourselves focused on some things that could be negative and losing the excitement for what is coming, that Christmas feeling that we all used to get when we got the catalogs or whatever the case may be. Some of you might be too young to remember catalogs, but
catalogs.
when got the wish list out for Santa Claus. That's where I feel like we're at. I feel like it's Christmas almost year round now for us gamers. I mean, that's what Steel and I are trying to do here, is to keep the excitement, to call out what needs to be called out. I mean, I had my rant today, about gaming journalism, but that stuff is necessary, because at the end of the day, we got to call what's bad. A spade, as Mr. Boomstick always likes to say. We got to do that stuff too. But at the general overall feeling right now should just be excitement. We have so much to play. I still can't believe it. And I know there's people out there that only play 2-3 games a year. There's some people that are very specific about the games that they love to play. But man, as a gamer, when I look at Game Pass, when I look at the future, what's coming down, when I see what Sony's doing, when I see, again, even though I don't do Nintendo stuff anymore, when I still see them making great games and people getting excited about Monster Hunter Rise coming out to the Nintendo Switch and taking days off of work, and all that stuff makes me feel good. Even if I'm not personally choosing that right now, it makes me feel good as a gamer, because man, back in the day, I remember when it wasn't like this. I remember when we were waiting, or when, we are in the golden age of gaming, folks.
Right.
Play what you love what you play is one of my favorite sayings, because I truly mean that. I truly mean that. When it comes to this time, there is more for everybody than there ever has been. And it is a beautiful thing. And it is a feast right now. It is a buffet. You can pick from whatever you want out there right now. And we have our choice. And again, I don't know how long it's going to last. All good things do come to an end at some point. I hope that I'm 80, 90 years old and still feeling this way. But guess what? While it's here, I'm going to enjoy it. So again, I want to be, that's why we're here. That's why I brought Steel on board, is because I know he feels the same way about this. That's why I love to see you people in chat coming out and enjoying us, because that's what we want to bring to this community. And that's where we want to grow, because we love it. We love this industry and we love everything about it. Man, it's a good time. It's a good time. It's a good time.
It's an excellent time, man. And with that being said, look, again, chat, Pong, I appreciate y'all for being here. I appreciate rocking out and us being part of your morning with the living split screen morning show with Pong and Steel, man. You see what we're doing. You see the energy that we're providing, the love, the passion, the dedication. Again, technical difficulties again, but from this point forward, I know exactly what to do so we don't have these difficulties. So with that being said, the shows will start running smoother. Life things do happen. But as we adjust, hopefully y'all are along for the ride. If y'all have opinions, if y'all got anything that you might want to get into, talk about, say we could have did better, maybe you just got some ideas or whatever, hit us up in the DMs. The links are all across the screen. They'll be in the links after the show, always in the description. You can catch us here. Look, every Saturday mornings, man. Saturday, the best day. In your morning, 9 a.m. Central, 10 a.m. Eastern, sorry. And then and then 3 p.m. UK time. I'm going to let my brother Pong finish, get it right for me, but y'all get it. Look, man, it was another great morning. Again, another one that we're coming out, and I'm just got a ton of energy. One cup of coffee, man. One cup of coffee, and I'm energized. I'm about to get another cup because I just love coffee. But look, appreciate y'all for rocking up with us. Again, we're looking to be that morning show that you guys can not only depend on, but can get your weekend.
Spread the word.
Please, spread it, please.
The word. Help us.
Let's get us out there. Get us out there. We're and that's one thing that I do want to also get across. I feel like for living split screen, it's something I don't want to necessarily make it a promise, but I do want to say that I will dedicate. Hopefully, I could speak. Well, I'm speaking for me and Pong here. That
I don't know where you're going with this. So
I don't know.
Okay.
I don't know if y'all pay attention to me necessarily, Steel Rain, throughout the week, but I like to make my videos and promote and get input, put us out there. Look, man. The reason for doing these things is because I want y'all to understand the consistency. I want y'all to understand the passion, that this isn't something that's made up. I don't just put on a face and come on. That what these the videos I make on Twitter, or if you catch me in a live stream or whatever, when I'm streaming the game, that is the same energy that comes across, because that's just me. That's organic. I can't like turn that down. I can't turn it off. For me to turn it off with me being fake, with me trying to go, I couldn't even go over the top because I don't know what that is other than being me. And I feel like that's extremely important. A lot of people tend to lose that. And I feel like for us, we know who we are. We know what we love. We know what we're dedicated to. And we know why I feel like we know why we're doing this. So just, you guys might get flooded throughout the week, or we might be hitting you over the head and say, hey, get ready for Saturday, be ready for Saturday. But again, at the same time, we're trying to do the work.
We're ramp up the hype train, just like Microsoft, baby. We're going big. Exactly.
we're going for the top, man. We're going for the top. So, but anyway, Pong, but get into it, man. Love to have you. I love having you here always, man. Always love talking to you, and the fact that we're doing this together again, man. Second episode in, and I feel like I feel greatness along the horizon, man.
Oh, absolutely. Absolutely, brother. Again, this is the reason why we're doing this. I know some people literally woke up this morning, some of our friends, and came out here to support us. And that's what it's about. That I appreciate so much, because I know, again, we're a little early for some people. Everybody's got different schedules. But for people just to wake up, to stop out and to see us, and just even drop by and just drop a line in the chat to say, hey guys, I'm here. That means the world, man. I mean, again, you can't find that anywhere else. Just to know that people want to come out and experience this with us, Steel, is a big deal. And that's why we started this thing. So again, love you all. Chat, you guys were amazing today. We saw some new faces in there, which means the word's getting out already. Only episode number 2. Steel and I want to take this as far as it'll take us. We're here because we enjoy this through and through, and we hope that you feel that week in, week out, right? Again, Steel and I are who we are. We have different energy, but we have same energy too. And that's what we want to come across as. And this is why we decided living split screen was the way to do that. So appreciate every single person that comes out, every single person that listens to this later on. Appreciate you wholeheartedly. And we want to be your Saturday morning wake up call. We want to be that show that everybody says, hey, we want to rock out with Steel and Pong and Steel on Saturday mornings every week. So again, thank you all for coming out today. It was a great show, Steel. You brought the energy again, my friend. We had some really good discussions here. Again, none of this was loosely talked about what we were going to do. So I love it when it all comes together. We get a 2-hour show out of it, just by you and I, talking, and you and I chatting about different topics. So this is the way we wanted it to work out. Again, be on the lookout for us. We are getting things ramped up. We are going to continue to send out things and remind you that we are here, and remind the community that we are here. And so be on the lookout for that. Again, Steel, I don't know if I have anything more to add. You wrapped it up nicely with a bow. And, again, this was a great Saturday morning. Hope to see you all next week, live here again. Do you want to give your outro, Steel? You want me to give my outro?
We can definitely do our outros. Look, again, one last time, Living Split Screens every Saturday mornings. We are your morning show, 9 a.m. Central, 10 a.m. Eastern, 3 p.m. UK time. Friday nights, GRG. We get it live. If you like this energy here, you're going to love the energy on Fridays. Look, we're doing it for the community. We're doing it for y'all. We're doing it to keep it gaming. I do it because I like to keep it live, raw, and uncut. Much love to everybody that's tuned in. And Pong, back to you.
Yeah, absolutely, guys. So Pong Soul everywhere. I hear me too many times during the week. You're probably sick of me. But Pong Steel everywhere. Twitter, Xbox. Again, Steel's on GRG on Friday. Friday nights are ridiculous.
Yes.
Friday nights
Packed.
are ridiculous. I mean,
Packed.
I almost I can't say I almost wish I wasn't on the show because that's not true. But the point of fact is, I wish I could be listening to GRG while I'm doing Xbox Ultimate.
Me too.
Because there's so much energy
me.
between the two shows, right? So some of you might be like me and be able to have two tabs open at one time and listen. If you are doing a podcast or doing a show, that's the way I usually rock during the week. That's why I'm in so many chats, because I got multiple tabs open. Man, I wish I could do that, because GRG for Steel, Xbox Ultimate for me, Friday nights.
Yes.
Take your pick. Try to listen to both of us. I don't care. We're both there. Xbox Ultimate with Fun Speculation, aka Mav. You know him. He's out there in the community. His wife, his beautiful wife, Caitlin. You know her as well. She's out there in the community. They ordered her a PC. She's going to start streaming too. Oh, the family affair over there, man. It's beautiful. 3-bit, Psychonauts, Assassin Lupa is back, and we added Lady AF. It's crazy over there. If you guys missed it, we just had Mr. Boomstick and Noof Nukem on last night. That was a huge night for us. Saturday's here in the morning. I'm with you. I'm going to end your Saturday evenings on the Shop Podcast with PTK Blam, Fuzzy Belvedere, Centurion, and Stagorilla. We're gonna close out your Saturday night with a great show. The Shop Podcast. Check me out there. 9 p.m. Eastern, 8 o'clock Central Standard Time. Not Central, whatever, daylight time now. Whatever. I hate that thing. CDT. And then Tuesdays, you can find me on the Xbox Factor Podcast with Boom and Zemi. Great show. It's an extension of his Xbox Factor podcast, because we're having such a great time. He added me. I can't believe he added me, and I'm honored. So Tuesdays, noon Eastern time, 11 a.m. Central time. You can find me there. But again, guys, this is a great time to be a gamer. We are lucky to be alive during this time when it comes to games. Some people won't understand that, where we came from. As somebody who's been gaming for a long time, it is amazing to be here right now and to see what's happening in this industry. Again, play what you love what you play. Okay, that's what it's all about at the end of the day. And please keep coming by and seeing us living split screen Saturday mornings. Drop on in. I hope you love what we're doing here, because we love what we're doing here. Period.
Much love.
Thank you all for coming out.
Much love.
Much love.
Peace.
Later, guys.